Hi, I'm Jonathan Solomon, and the biggest thing I've learned doing stand-up comedy is that there is no more fun you can have on the planet than standing in front of a room full of strangers doing a comedy routine. And I'm not just talking about the appearances I did on Late Show with David Letterman or the other 24, more than 24 comedy variety shows I appeared on. I'm talking about any time you're on stage telling jokes. Anytime, day or night, whatever the audience. It's just the best high. If you take my stand-up comedy course at Santa Monica College, at the end of the 6 weeks, we have a graduation show at the Comedy Store. That night, you'll get up there and do your own comedy routine, and I guarantee you, if you go to bed that night by 1 a.m., you'll still be awake at 4 a.m. If you go to bed at 4 a.m., you'll still be awake at 7 a.m. And if you go to bed at 7 a.m., well then, you might as well just stay up the rest of the day. Point is, you're just going to be too buzzed to sleep. Now, to get to that night, we got to start writing jokes. And to get you writing jokes, what we do in class is we break down the comedy material of all the great comedians. What we do by breaking down the material is we get you to the point where you go, now I see how they got that laugh. Then we do a lot of hands-on practice, so you say, not only do I see how they got the laugh, now I can do it. I'm getting the laughs. And here's the really cool thing. It's kind of simple. Even if you've never done stand-up comedy before, even if you've never taken a comedy class, you already write jokes all day, every day. Let's say you're on the phone with the gas company, you're on hold, you've been on hold 20 minutes, and someone walks by the door, your office, and they look at you and you look at them and you're kind of annoyed and you say to them, I've been on hold for 5 hours. If you've said that, just that, you've already mastered the most common joke construction in all of comedy. You exaggerated. Exaggeration is the joke structure used to get the laugh in most comic bits. Now, the other big priority I have for you, if you take my stand-up comedy class, is defining your persona and point of view. Because the truth is, when you go on stage as a comedian, you really don't want to go on stage thinking, I want to make people laugh. You really don't. You just want to be so crystal clear on what you think and feel that you go on stage to tell the people what you think and feel. It's just, I'm going to tell a bunch of strangers what's on my mind. And you know what? That's when you get the really big laughs. Not to mention the sitcom deals and the comedy specials on Netflix and HBO. Now, of course, performing is an important part too. So in class, you'll be on stage performing your comedy routine, microphone in hand, and we'll be discussing your performance chops so that when you get to the Comedy Store, it's your first time performing. If it's your first time performing, you'll already have a real good idea what you're doing up there. Now, if you'll allow me, let me say one more thing that I've learned being a stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedians and the people who are doing stand-up comedy and into doing stand-up comedy are the best people to hang around with in the world. They're funny, they're supportive, they get the references, and they're deep without being boring about it. Half of every class we have is just you, me, and your fellow comedian students sitting around pitching jokes so that we can put together your comedy routine. We have a blast. It's like the writer's room at a sitcom or sitting around the bar at a comedy club. It's one of the reasons that even though this class is designed for beginners, we get a lot of repeat offenders. People come back because they enjoy the writing sessions. Really, we have a blast, and I'm not exaggerating. So sign up for my class at SMC.